Hi there guys, welcome to issue 52 Warhammer 40k Conquest. We have a tub of Astro Granite, which is a textured paint for your bases, and we have a pretty jam-packed magazine this week. But before we get onto that, I just want to mention to you that in the next couple of days I'll be doing my review of issue number 1 of Mortal Realms, which is the Age of Sigmar equivalent to Conquest. Someone on Facebook very kindly is sending me a copy, so when I receive that in the next couple of days I'll be doing a review of that, and then I will be starting next week. I'm going to be starting to do some painting tutorials. I'm going to be focusing to start with on Time of Legends Joan of Arc, building the scenery for that, painting the scenery for that, but I will get to some 40k and Warhammer stuff very soon as well. Now let's get on with this. So what have we got today? Learning about Death Guard Lords, painting bases, and new stratagems for your games. Is it me, or do the stratagems seem to get lumped in with the paint issues? People don't like receiving the paint, but maybe they start to like learning new parts of the game. Who knows? In this issue, with a refill of Astro Granite for your model's bases in this issue, we have a guide for adding shades and highlights to this important area of your models. The bases of your models represent where your armies are fighting. As such, there are many ways to paint them. Far too many for us to include here. We've chosen 3 schemes themed for your forces of Ultramarines and Death Guard. You can apply one to each force or apply the same to both so that they look great facing off on the battlefield. Whatever you choose, your army's bases will look stunning when you're done. Okay, so what have we got this week? And yes, actually, there is more stuff in the magazine. You know, there's a lot more bullet points here than usually is. This in this issue section is normally dominates the first section here. Anyway, so we've got Death Guard Champions 3, Mantles of Corruption, Space Marine Warriors 7, Tactical Squads, Space Marine Chapter 7, Iron Hands, Space Marine Heroes 6.1, Master of Sanctity Cassius, Death Guard War Machine 7, Death Guard Land Raiders, Space Marine Chapters 4.2, The Chronicles of Blood. Then we've got how to use our Astro Granite. Then we've got some more rules, Space Marine faction rules. So that's a new stratagem. And then the same again for Death Guard. And then we've got Rules Mission 36, Death at the Dock Guard. Death Guard invade the dockyard at Kalon. Okay, so let's have a brief look through the magazine. So Mantles of Corruption. A Death Guard Lord earns the right to lead through his talents for destruction, corruption and survival. Mortarion expects his lords to choose the style of leadership that best matches their skills. And then moving on, we've got Tactical Squads. Despite the creation of Primaris Space Marines, Tactical Squads still form the backbone of most Space Marine chapters. Their tactical flexibility has won wars for thousands of years. So that is good. Next we've got Space Marine Chapters number 7, the Iron Hands. The Space Marines of the Iron Hands chapter fuse their own mortal flesh with cold, unyielding steel. They fight with a mechanical resolve, showing neither mercy nor weakness in battle. Interesting. I look forward to going back to that. Master of Sanctity, Orton Cassius. Related to Lieutenant Cassius? Oh, Calcius. Lieutenant Calcius was in issue, I believe, issue number 6. In fact, that's interesting. What happened to that? Way back when we got Lieutenant Calcius, which was a Warhammer 40k Conquest only model, and I thought we were going to get some more, but I don't think, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've had any other models that are only known to this run. If I'm wrong, let me know, please. Okay, Orton Cassius is the oldest living Ultramarine. Over his long service, he has fought foes of all kinds, but his experience fighting and hatred for the all-devouring Tyranids is by far the greatest. Nice. Interesting. Okay, that's good. Now we've got Death Guard War Machine 7 Land Raiders. Among the mightiest vehicles in the Death Guard armories, Land Raiders are prized as status symbols by the Lords of the Traitor Legion. Those that possess these rare trophies guard them jealously. Then we've got Chronicles of Blood, Space Marine Chapters 4.2. From the earliest days of the Imperium, the Blood Angels have fought to defend the Emperor's realm. In spite of the darkness that gnaws at their souls, the sons of Sanguinius have proven themselves true heroes time and time again. Even now they remain a beacon of hope amidst the gathering darkness. Then we've got a load of stuff about painting bases. This is interesting actually. So just using the base paints we've got so far, so not base paints, the texture paints we've got so far, it's showing you the different colours that you can come up with. So one is for dank swamp. So you put astrogranite on all of your bases. To get a dank swamp effect, you put on a Athonian camo shade, then some Orgrimmar camo, and then do the base with Steel Legion drab. For Muddy Mire, you wash Agrax Earthshade, and then it looks like dry brush Rakehearth Flesh, and then again Steel Legion drab around the rims. And then City Ruins is astrogranite with Nuln Oil, dry brush of Celestra Grey, and then Abaddon Black around the rim. So yeah, and that's good. You can see the effects on there. Very cool. Okay, Ultramarine stratagems. Here we introduce a whole new set of stratagems for your Ultramarines. You can use these stratagems in your game to save your force a boost to give your force a boost at key moments. So I'm just going to tell you what they are without reading the whole thing. So Hellfire Shells. Use this stratagem just before an Adeptus Astartes infantry model attacks with a heavy bolter. You only make a single hit roll with the weapon this phase. However, if it hits, the target suffers D3 mortal wounds. Death to the Traitors. Use this stratagem when an Adeptus Astartes unit is chosen to attack the fight in the fight phase. Each time you roll a hit of 6 up for a model in this unit during this phase, it can, if it was targeting a Heretic Astartes unit, immediately make an extra attack against the same unit using the same weapon. Then Armour of Contempt. Use this when an Adeptus Astartes vehicle suffers a mortal wound. Roll a d6 for that mortal wound, and either mortal wound inflicted on this model for the rest of the phase. On a 5 up, that mortal wound is ignored and has no effect. Scions of Gulliman. Blah 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 blah. This is used for Ultramarines biker units selected to attack in a shooting or fight phase. You can re-roll all hit rolls of 1 for that unit for the rest of the phase. If the unit is a tactical squad or intercessor squad, re-roll all failed hit rolls instead. And finally, Wisdom of the Ancients. Select a friendly Adeptus Astartes Ultramarines Dreadnought. Until the end of the phase, you can re-roll all rolls of 1 for Ultramarines within 6 inches of that Dreadnought. So that's good. Then it's got some examples of that. Then we've got Death Guard stratagems. So we've got the Dead Walk again. So use this at the beginning of your movement phase. Select a unit of Poxwalkers until the start of the next movement phase. Replace that unit's Curse the Walking Pox ability with the following. Each time an infantry model, other than a Poxwalker, friend or foe, is slain within 7 inches of this unit, add 1 model to the unit. Okay, then Chaos Familiar of Nurgle. You can use this stratagem at the start of your Psychic phase. Select a friendly Death Guard Psyker. That model can replace any of its psychic powers with the power of your choice from the Contagion discipline. Then we've got Putrid Detonation. Use your stratagem when one of your Death Guard vehicles is destroyed. Do not roll a dice, that vehicle automatically explodes. Then we've got Blasphemous Machines. Use this stratagem just before a Death Guard vehicle attacks in the shooting phase. Until the end of that phase, the vehicle can ignore the penalties for moving and firing heavy weapons, or for advancing and firing assault weapons. And then finally, Cloud of Flies. Use this stratagem during your movement phase. Select a Death Guard infantry unit. Until the start of your next movement phase, enemy models can only shoot this unit if it is the closest visible target. Brilliant. Okay, then we've got examples of that stratagem. Then we've got our Rules Mission 36, Death at the Dockyard. Death stalks the streets of Kalon. As the battle takes its toll on the Imperial war machines, yet more of their fallen rise as poxwalkers to outnumber the defenders. The Ultramarines still stand tall for now, their defensive positions retreating further and further towards the docks and outer regions of the city. So again, we've got a double map set up. The Kalon dockyards have been converted into a strong defensive position by the Ultramarines defenders. The Plague Marines must break through, securing several objectives in the process. So, in this mission, the Munitorium armoured containers are objectives. So you've got all three of them out there. Place each container in the position shown on the playmat. It says above, but it's across. Deployment zones for both the Death Guard and Space Marines are marked on the playmat. So you've got two there. So our armies are Death Guard, 7 Plague Marines, 12 Poxwalkers, 10 Chaos Cultists, Plague Burst Crawler and a Lord of Contagion, up against 5 Intercessors, 3 Hellblasters, 3 Reavers, the Primaris Chaplain and the Redemptor Dreadnought. Both players roll off, the winner can decide who deploys first. Players then alternate deploying their units, beginning with the player chosen to deploy first. After all units have been deployed, the player who finished setting up their army first can choose to take the first or second turn. Victory conditions. Eliminate the enemy warlord, 1 victory point. Hold an objective, 2 victory points. To hold an objective, you must have more models than the enemy unit. To hold an objective, you must have more models than the enemy within 3 inches of it at the end of the game. Game lasts for 5 battle rounds. And then what have we got? So next we've got 1 Space Marine biker. So we've had 2 already. This is the last one to make up the set. And then we've got Typhus, the Herald of the Plague God arrives. And he looks really awesome. He looks really cool. So that is our next 2 issues. So I've already seen some people moaning online and in the comment section about receiving 2 bikers. And later on only receiving 1. I have to say I kind of agree. If they were going to do it that way, I'd have preferred to receive 1 first, because then it doesn't feel like we're getting sold out later on. But either way, that completes our little grouping of 3. But I'm really looking forward to Typhus in a couple of weeks' time. So I will be back to you very soon with issue 53, and then we'll get it out there. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. And if you didn't, let me know why. See you later.